I'd like to start by sharing a couple of quotations. Speech is power. Speech is to persuade, to convert, to compel. It is to bring another out of his bad sense and into your good sense. From Ralph Waldo Emerson. Do you remember what Darwin says about music? He claims that the power of producing and appreciating it existed among the human race long before the power of speech was developed. Perhaps this is why we are so subtly influenced by it. There are vague memories in our souls of those misty centuries when the world was in its childhood. That's a rather broad idea, I remarked. One's ideas must be as broad as nature if they are to interpret nature, he answered. That's from Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Let's pray. Let us pray. Father, Mother God, we are so grateful to be living in a place and in a time with so much potential. We are grateful for the guidance we've been surrounded with, and we are grateful for your constant and loving presence in our lives. We give you praise by repeating the prayer that our brother Jesus taught. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. We talk a lot in spiritualism about raising our vibration. It seems to be important to us, and I'd like to spend a little time today exploring that. Having been involved in this church for many years and in various metaphysical studies for even longer, I feel like I have an experiential understanding of what that means. I know what high vibrations and low vibrations feel like, and the things in my life that cause those feelings. So for today, when I have a chance to speak to you all from here, I wanted to explore that a little bit because I find it fascinating. Albert Einstein once said, "Everything in life is vibration," and I know that he is much smarter than I am. When smart people talk, I like to pay attention so I can pretend I understand them. It makes me feel smarter, and I like that. Another smart guy, Nikola Tesla, said, "If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration." I'm sensing a theme. The vibratory nature of matter is mentioned in the Bible. John's gospel starts with, "In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God." I always thought this was a fascinating verse that really doesn't seem to get much attention, but feels pretty important to understanding God. This seems to say that this vibration is from God and is God himself. I don't really want to delve into this part of theology today, but wow, God is vibration? That seems pretty important too. So, okay, everything is vibration. Got it. Now what? The frequency of vibration of various energies we can perceive with our human bodies is measured in a unit called hertz. Radio frequency radiation is usually measured in kilohertz, megahertz, or gigahertz. Light is electromagnetic radiation that's even higher in frequencies, and its frequencies are in the range of tens to thousands of terahertz. If we're speaking about the visible spectrum that our typical human eyes can see in terms of frequency, this is a band in the vicinity of 430 to 770 terahertz. Okay, yawn, fascinating stuff. Why do I care? Well, about that information, you probably don't. However, when we as spiritualists talk about vibration, we talk about the human body's vibration, and that is much more interesting. Surrounding this physical body that we can see and touch is an energy body of several layers. Metaphysical schools have studied and taught about these energy bodies for thousands of years. Current Western science has now begun to be interested and are beginning to confirm some of the things that the mystics have taught for centuries. So how do we know what our vibrational level is? There are actually now a few machines out there that can do that, though they are not mainstream, and I haven't had any experience with them. The main reason that geeky me hasn't pursued that information is that we have a very handy system built right in. The best way to gauge what your vibrational rate is through your emotions. There's a chart I've seen several versions of I'd like to share, and I put it in your bulletins. I really have no idea how they assign the numbers to each of the levels of the chart, but personally, I really don't care about the numbers. I do care about the emotional range listed on the chart, the lower vibrational states and the upper vibrational states. I'm betting not one of you is surprised that in this chart, the emotions of joy and love are high vibrational states, and guilt and shame, etc., are low vibrational states. So, aside from how it feels, why do we want to raise our vibrations? Why do we care what our vibrational rate is? Well, one, in short, our bodies are built to encourage the higher vibrations through the emotions. We are rewarded in a very physical way when we keep our vibrational rate high. Did you know that we are hardwired to laugh? Infants laugh almost from birth, says psychologist Steve Wilson. In fact, people who are born blind and deaf still laugh. So we know it's not a learned behavior. Humans are hardwired for laughter. I love that thought. When Elliot first came into my life, after those middle of the night feeds, I'd frequently just let him lay there in bed next to me instead of putting him back in the bassinet. And he'd lie there sleeping and laughing for 20 or 30 minutes at a time. Just quiet little baby chuckles. The author of the book, Laugh Your Way to Grace, Reverend Susan Sparks, shares this story of her visit to Mother Teresa's orphanage in India. That is when I encountered 5-year-old Anna. Blind and deaf from birth, Anna could sense human presence from the vibrations of footsteps. As I walked by, she reached out and wrapped herself around my leg like a koala bear. Not knowing what else to do, I sat down cross-legged beside her. She immediately crawled into my lap and began rocking back and forth, laughing and singing. This blind and deaf child. I quickly discovered that her favorite game was to hum a short tune and then to press her ear against me, feeling the vibration as I hummed it back. She would laugh with joyous high-pitched squeals, hum a little tune back, and press her ear against me again to feel the vibrations of my response. We played this game for hours. Here in the laughter of this tiny girl was humor and wholly made manifest. There's a lot more to be said about laughter and its healing powers, but I won't go into that today, maybe another time. Second, in one of the shortest yet powerful messages in the Bible, 1 Thessalonians 5:16-18, it says, "Be joyful always, pray continually, give thanks in all circumstances, for this is God's will for your life." What a wonderful gift it is that the things that are God's will according to the Bible should actually make us feel good. Third, as spiritualists who are interested in communicating with spirit itself, those on the other side of the veil are vibrating at a higher level than our normal senses can perceive. In order for us to communicate with them, then we have to raise our vibrational level as well. And fourth, I think the most important reason of all for this period in our history is that we are all connected. On an energetic level, there is no definite hard line between any of us. And when one of us raises their vibration, we all do. An experiment conducted in the early 1980s during the heart of the Lebanon War sought to discover whether meditation could reduce war. When 1,000 people in Jerusalem meditated on world peace, war deaths in Lebanon went down by over 75%. Not only did war deaths go down, but crime, traffic collisions, fires, and other destructive events also went down on the days the group meditated. From this and other similar studies that showed that war deaths and injuries went down on days groups were meditating on peace, scientists reluctantly concluded that group meditation seems to prevent war. In reporting on these unexpected findings, world-renowned quantum physicist John Hagelin, PhD, commented, "There is far more evidence that group meditation can turn off war like a light switch than that aspirin reduces headaches. It's a scientific fact." Knowing this may encourage each of us to be more aware of our own vibrations by being aware of our own emotions. And maybe it can help us all feel a little less helpless with some of the things happening in the world today. We can understand a bit more why the world feels focused on anger and pain, but we can also understand that we can actually do something about it. Something as simple as turning off the news reports and maybe just watching Saturday morning cartoons. Feel free to indulge in anything that brings you joy. In fact, the world needs you to do more of that. This is all wonderful information about the more subtle vibrations. So what about physical vibrations? Vibrations that you can hear and measure. We all know how very powerful music can be in affecting our emotions and our thoughts, but I'd like to talk specifically about how words themselves can affect us, and therefore the world around us. I'd like to invite us all to participate in a little experiment. Right now, I'd like you to listen to what I say, but do it from a space within yourself where you're aware of how you feel. So please take a moment and a couple of calming breaths. And let your attention move into your heart space. And then down into the area of your solar plexus, your gut, wherever you really feel things. And then just listen. Maybe close your eyes. And notice how you feel from there when I say these couple of things. The cost of gasoline is at an all-time high. The cost of gasoline has declined every week for the last 8 weeks. Democrat, Republican. The sunset last night was the most beautiful I've ever seen. I got a new puppy yesterday, and it is adorable. You can open your eyes again if they were closed. Did you notice a difference in your body when different words were spoken? How did those things make you feel? Maybe a bit of a roller coaster? Would you agree that spoken words that you've heard can have power? Then I'd invite you to consider the power of the words that you speak to yourself. You all know that the thoughts that you think can affect the way you feel. I'm going to suggest that saying those same words aloud has even more power. So let's try that. With your attention focused back in your solar plexus or wherever you notice your feelings, try saying this silently. The world is a peaceful place. And now we'll all say it out loud. The world is a peaceful place. Did you feel a difference? Maybe not. It may be subtle, and you may not feel a difference. You can all try this at home without other people around listening to make you feel self-conscious. And I'd like to share one more thing, something from Saint Germain. The most powerful thing, the most powerful words in the world. It's very simple. Those words are I am. Here's what Saint Germain has to say about those magic words. Only the Son of God, which means the individual with free will, can decree as God decrees and say, I am. Whatever quality follows that sound, spoken into the ethers, becomes a manifestation in the world of substance and thus becomes form. When the individual says, I am, he is using the creative attribute of the Godhead and announcing creation at this particular point in the universe. The vibratory action of the word, I am, either in thought or spoken word, is the release of the power of creation. And whatever quality follows that decree is instantly imposed upon the electronic substance in the ethers, this being the only substance and energy in existence, whose nature is to be qualified in some manner. It must outpicture the pattern within the decree. If the decree is always for perfection, then the experience in the individual's word expresses the fullness of the plan of life. But if the individual does not send forth that decree, it is impossible for that perfection to outpicture in his experiences until the decree is released into the ethers in which he lives. Every individual can think perfection at every instance if he only will. And it takes no more substance and energy to build beautiful, perfect forms and experiences than it does the imperfect. But if the individual wants this perfection expressed in his own word, he must use his own energy to utter the decree, which will release that perfection unto him. Such is the law of his being, and nothing can change it. Now, I know Saint Germain's language is maybe not real modern, and I hope that you understood that, but basically the sum is that if you want to see anything of perfection in your life, you need to speak it or think it into being with those magic words, I am. He further adds, my dear ones, there must come the acknowledgement through your I am decrees and through your feelings of these conditions which you want brought into the outer world. If it were not necessary for you to speak the word, to use the creative word I am, why do you suppose it would ever have been given to you? Why would you have the power of speech if that action were not required under the cosmic law for the physical octave of Earth? How's that for a thought? To sum up, everything in this universe is vibrating, everything. And that vibration is affected by our thoughts, and vibration is produced by our words. Both of these things are immensely powerful in shaping our world. We are invited, actually required, to shape the world we live in through that vibratory power of our thoughts and words. How will you use this power consciously now that you're more aware of it? Thank you. The meditation today will be a little bit different as well. I thought we could use the I am declarations shared by Saint Germain and see how they feel to us. I invite you to get comfortable in your seats. Take a couple relaxing breaths once again. Breathe in peace and breathe out stress. No music. Breathe in love and breathe out fear. Continue to breathe and relax. Saint Germain shares these words. I am the power acting. I am the intelligence directing. I am the substance being acted upon. And now I bring it into visible form, and my use visible and tangible forever. You're invited to repeat these I am affirmations either silently or aloud for more power. I am inexhaustible energy. I am irresistible divine love. I am indestructible health. I am inescapable prosperity. I am invincible protection. Just listen to this part. I am the mighty presence on guard every second this day, instantly annihilating all that seeks to disturb and holding my full God dominion in this place forever. Mighty I am presence, charge my entire mind and body with thy ascended master consciousness and keep it eternally sustained. For healing, you can repeat these declarations. I am the presence charging this body with pure electronic energy. I am perfect health now manifest in every organ of my body. I am the perfect intelligent activity in this body. I am my perfect sight. I am my perfect hearing. I am my perfect action of the throat. Just listen to this portion. Mighty I am presence, charge my aura with instantaneous healing to everybody that comes into my presence and set all free in the service of light. Mighty I am presence, come forth through my mind and body, produce perfection and hold dominion here forever. And for supply, you can repeat these declarations. I am the riches of God, flowing into my hands in use that nothing can stop. I am the omnipresent, limitless supply of God's riches. In my hands and use now and continuously. I am the ascended master payment of every bill or obligation. Instantly and eternally manifest through divine love. I am the inescapable, inexhaustible riches of God. You can listen to this portion. Beloved, mighty I am presence, give me 10 times more than I require as your glad, free gift of love. See that I use it all in the service of the light and give you the credit as being the giver. I accept the instantaneous manifestation and thank thee that it is done. Now we'll take a couple of minutes and let you do your own I am decrees in this space. Time now to take a couple of breaths to return to regular consciousness, fully charged with the I am declaration energy you just released. Eyes open and return to the here and now.